Hey y'all, hey. I'm going through some things today. I was supposed to have been brought y'all with me, but didn't work out. Like I kind of consumed with a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I have to do all at once because I wait until the last minute, and then when I wait until the last minute, some other stuff have popped up in the schedule that I need to tend to, and then the stuff that was already on the back burner that I finally got a chance to get to has to go back on a whole nother back burner. And then when other stuff becomes priority, it goes back there again and never gets done. And so doing what ends up best, just turning on the camera and going. Okay, Frankie Beverly. But I'm going to talk to y'all about. But everybody seems to be shocked and amazed at the current regime. Like repeatedly, over and over. After you've seen them do what they do and what they've always done from one day to the next. Like, did you think they weren't going to be themselves tomorrow maybe? I don't know what you thought. But I'm here today to answer the question, apparently, of how 45 became the residing inhabitant of the White House and the leader of the current leader of the free world. Because he is. That's who's the president. We can act like we can say not my president all damn day long, but he set it off for World War III. It is set off unofficially and officially. In case you wanted to deny that it was. Like tomorrow, when I tell you to live life in the day of his reign, I really mean that. Because I don't think you realize that you could look out of your window tomorrow and see smoke coming up. You know, the terror and trauma that people are still going through today from that one day, September 11th. Even just from seeing it, all the way to being a victim of it. Or experiencing grief and loss or health, whatever. The point is, tomorrow you could look out of your window and down the main strip of whatever main road you live near, just beyond that, you could just see smoke. Smoke that you're looking at over there right now, but it's like only a mile away, and eventually that smoke from the bomb will reach your area, your hood, your house, and the bomb doesn't have to hit you directly to hit you. So, I mean, with what your president is doing, he is the president. I can't say not my president because I live here. Because he is the president. But I won't say my president. But he is the president. The leader of the free world, y'all. Yeah. Y'all let that happen. And I'm going to walk you through how in just a second. Well, one of the ways how. Because there was a multitude of opportunity given the state of society. So, in doing so, let me give you a few story times. I'll start out with the children. Should I start with the children? I'll start with the children. I've had story times like this one for you before. One of my YouTube dudes, baby nephew, did a video. And he does videos. He has a young audience because he's a young person. And young adults. But also teenagers. And I'm aware of this. You know, as I visit his page. I like his page. A lot of it. Like, if it's something that either I'm not interested in or it's something that I am interested in, but I know there are going to be a bunch of kids in the comments or whatever, I'll kind of decline for the most part. Because I'm going to be tempted to go cape for him if anybody come with any bullshit. And you know, kids, you're a parent. You know how people are raising kids. So there is not just inevitably, but absolutely, and in fact, for the most part, there are going to be misparented children come through just looking for trouble. And when you come for people I care about, I don't mind giving you what you look for. Because you wanted it real, real bad. But anyway, so my homie did this video about the gamer. I won't say his name. I'll call him Pissy Pie. Well, the young people will know who he is. A lot of my audience probably won't have a clue. Thank God. Because I don't build my audience like y'all do. But anyway, my boy did a video on his desire to drop the N-bomb so bad. Well, let me go ahead and say it because I can say it. Becky, if you're here, that's a direct message. I can say it. However I'm saying it. If I'm using it derogatorily or if I'm using it lovingly. And I don't use it often anymore. But the point is, and sadly enough, it's why I don't use it often anymore. Because it's so important to you. And this was also the point my boy was making. And this is also a point that Mr. makes all the time. And a lot of brothers, a lot of black men, I don't know about these guys y'all be fucking with, but a lot of black men, they don't want to knock your block off when you drop the N-bomb, privileged boy, just because you dropped the N-bomb. It's what you meant. It's the intent that the word holds. Because even if you mean it, even if you say it and you believe you believe, mind you, that you are saying it lovingly, because there's no way that word can come out of your mouth lovingly. Because if you call yourself loving a person of color, that you won't even have a desire. You won't even be looking for an excuse to use it. Like, and let me just go ahead and warn you, Becky. When you say, why is it that you can say it and I can't? You just let all people of color know that you have a thirst to be able to have the flexibility to say that within your already exuberant freedom. On top of that, you now want to go ahead and exasperate the oppression of me and people that look like me with the availability of use of the word. And so what balanced-minded black people are thinking, what is it in you that makes you want to use it so badly? Why is it that if you care about lives that are of people that don't look like you, if you consider them still human, what is it about you that you can't say, that you don't have the ability to say, oh, well, you know, I'm not in their shoes, but it's clearly a major offense. And in fact, the desire to want to say it could in fact endanger my health and life. Let me not use the word. That's not what you say. You know what you say? You say, why can't we say it? Why can't I say it? You want to say it so bad. No matter how many times someone lets it come out of their mouth and it ends their career. Well, on the surface it does, because Becky, we know that person low-key gets a whole nother job, maybe even a promotion as a result of it. And that's the point, bitch. And by bitch, I'm talking to Becky's, the males in Becky's lineage as well. So my boy was basically just saying, like, you know, I won't say the dude is racist, which is better than he a better man than I am a woman, because I would say it. Dude is racist. But he said, I'm not saying dude is racist. He's like, it's just beyond me. Why do you want to say it so bad? Like, why is that the first thing that comes to your mind? Why is it that when you're looking, even if you see somebody doing something stupid and you want to refer to them that way, why is the worst thing? And we were younger, Mr. had these questions too. He's like, why is it that you search through your brain because you're angry, you're mad, or you're irritated or aggravated or whatever. This is, you know, you want to insult. You clearly want to insult the worst insult you can find. And you reach into your white brain and nigga, you find nigga. Even apparently, little boy, even if it's not a black person, you just mad at them because now they're acting like a nigga, which is the word associated with black people. Anyway, I'm not here to explain it. I'll probably edit all that out because brothers and sisters, grown brothers and sisters that come to my page, I already know. I don't have to walk you through that. But that was just for Becky and her folks, okay? Her siblings and her parents, you know. And her children, because she's procreating now. And there was a white boy. There were lots of white boys, but there were lots of white people. But there was a white boy that started his comment with, look, if I don't know you, I don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. And then he went on to express how it was okay that he said he could insult or say whatever the fuck he wants to whoever he wants. And then he went on to say, which there was a lot of this in the comments going on from white children, some of whom are adult-aged white children. So he goes on in his comments, a long-ass paragraph. I can't talk. I be leaving long-ass paragraphs on people that I actually like, other people, or that I care about. Because some people I don't like, but I care about them. So I like to give them an option or remind them that they have options. They don't have to keep doing the dumb shit they doing. But anyway, he went further into the comment to say, as many white people were on the page saying, I'm not defending him. As soon as you say that, you're defending him. Just so you know, Becky, you can't say you didn't know, because I just told you. So I decided this was the boy I wanted a piece of. So I started my comment exactly the way he started his comment. Because the thing about racists, that whenever you call out racism, they want to point out something, they want to point the finger at you at something you're doing that is actually what they're doing. So in essence, if they really had any lick of common sense, you basically saying, I'm racist because I let the world know that you're racist. And when you're asked, well, what about them or their race is racist? Well, because you said such and such and such and such. Whatever they say, it basically means because you called out my racism. Okay, so apparently we all agree that racism is bad, because after you get called out for being racist, you say, well, no, you're racist. So that's an insult, right? You're racist. Being racist is an insult, right? So stop doing that shit that makes people call out your racism. Then people won't be going around saying you're racist, because you wouldn't be doing and saying racist shit to prove that you're indeed racist. But anyway, I started my comment by saying, oh, okay. You know, because we playing this game. If I don't know you, I don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. I was like, oh, well, congratulations on mutual feelings. Because I'm not giving a fuck about you or your feelings right now. And then I proceeded to call out his racism. As racists hate for you to do. You know, you see what I did there? I literally did what he did. I let him know first, in the first sentence, I don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. The same way you said first. You initiated that. I don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. You said this to this dude that I care for. And so since we understand that, and since he does give a fuck about you and your feelings, even though you don't give a fuck about him or his, I'm showing up. Because I give a fuck about his feelings, but yours I don't. And you made it okay that I don't because you made that a mutual situation from the jump. So I proceeded to call out his bullshit. And come on, y'all know what he did. Y'all know what he did. He cried juvenile. He cried juvenile. He said, oh, I said it anyway, you're an old lady. Don't you have anything better to do than to argue with a 17-year-old? Well, nigga. See what I did there? The word that you can't use that I can. Well, nigga, the first thing you said was that you don't give a fuck about him or his feelings. So, or anybody you don't know. Which leads me to believe you don't give a fuck about the feelings of anybody you do know. Because that's how racists operate, right? That's how they operate. I mean, look at your president. He doesn't give a fuck about us, clearly, lets everyone know it. But when it boils down to it, and he's team, and people are team Trump, he lets those team Trump people know that he don't give a fuck about them either. Let's watch that unfold, shall we? To make a short story long, which I've already done in that particular case, I came back and I was like, yeah, I am an old lady. Because what do you do with trolls? Tell a troll that they're right about something. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know what the fuck to do with that. So he came back. So I came back and I was like, yeah, I'm an old lady. And I did and even currently have better things to do than to go toe-to-toe with a 17-year-old. But I chose to take time out to check your bitch ass. Your misparented bitch ass and the bitch that procreated you. Who let you go through life, if not raised you directly to be racist, but to enable you to go through life disrespecting other people and not giving a fuck about it. But let you feel disrespected. And the funny thing is, nothing I said was disrespectful. It was truth. You know why it hurt? Because it was derogatory. It's a bitch made way to be. And you don't care about whether you're bitch made or not. You know, we don't care about whether you're bitch made or not. It's just that when you step in other people's space and get disrespectful and let everybody know you're gonna be disrespectful and that you don't care about it. You were 17 when you did that shit. Like, don't you have something better to do than argue with a 17-year-old? Oh, what else? This what else I told him. I was like, cause I'm unbothered, right? Cause I am an old lady, and you already read Klansman Jr. You're already read. You already been read. You did it yourself, really. Before I said anything, you let everybody know what type of fuckery you was built on. But I was like, yeah, I had better shit to do. I chose to call your bitch ass out. I'm just 17. I'm only 17. Bitch, you was 17 when you came out your mouth with that bullshit on somebody else's page. How old do I need to be to call your bullshit out? So would it have been okay if I was 17 and I said the exact same word for word shit? That would make it better? You still a bitch. Okay, speaking of bitches, let's move on to our people, shall we? Yeah, you wanted to know how Trump became president. Yeah, we all played a role. It's obvious how privileged people made that choice, but not so obvious how people who look like me made that choice. And it's primarily parenting. Primarily parenting. I might even go back as far as to let you know when it started, because I know that too. I know when it started. Another story time. Pretty much proved the same point. A different version of the same point. So, this chick that I had started watching, I ain't gonna watch her ass no more. Because I ain't gonna watch her ass no more. It ain't her fault. So she was doing a video, and in the video she was asking people what they thought. Sidebar, you know, every time people do a video and ask the public what they think about something, you know they really don't want they don't want the advice of the public unless it agrees with them in their entirety. Don't pump nobody's brakes, or don't pump nobody's brakes, and also don't express how your real perspective of it. Don't express your perspective of it if your perspective is different than theirs. Okay, we got that rule out the way. That's a social media rule for the adult age children. That's official. Promise you, that's official. So she said she wanted to know what everybody thought about this. So she was at work and people was talking about, apparently the guys at work were talking about, you know, people having a work wife or whatever. She was like, you know, people really do that? You know, what's good? And so I think it was mostly guys at her office that were talking about this. And, you know, let's don't play dumb. We all heard of this shit. I'm not going to act shocked and amazed like I never heard of this. This is something that people do. It's something people have a relationship with people at work because they work with people. It ain't complicated. You're going to have a relationship with people that you work with. Why is it that when I say you're going to have a relationship with people you work with, why do you automatically put them hoes in the bed? They have to work together to reach the same goal of getting business done. Being productive. Why is y'all so pissy ass childish motherfucking people, like humans? Like, this is why I don't feel humans like that, you know? So anyway, she was saying how he was talking about that, and she was like, that's just, you know, I wouldn't, you know, she wouldn't stand for that, of course. She wouldn't have it. Like a whole bunch of other little girls, okay? And I'm like, the fuck is y'all? Who the fuck raised y'all? What's so sad about this is sometimes she have her mama in her videos, so we know who the fuck raised her. Her mama's beautiful, but real talk. You bitches are dropping the ball left and right, and I am talking to you directly. I'm not addressing your deadbeat ass daddies because your mama chose that deadbeat and laid in a bed with him and literally spread her legs and let him inside her to give birth to your dumb ass. And that's how you came about. Again, your mama's decisions, okay? Or your procreator's decisions. So she asked what people thought about it, and I was like, I basically said, I can't relate to these levels of, I just can't relate. Because, sure, I've heard of work wives and work husbands before, but the people that I hear mentioning it, they say, you know, it's just a term that they use for someone that they work most directly with of the opposite sex at work. And there is no inclination of disrespect of their marriages at home. And in fact, their spouse often asks about the said work wife or work husband. Like, what the fuck? I just asked Mr. about his work wife, and we wouldn't even be calling it that if she wasn't so adamant. She was gonna make him her work husband, whether he liked it or not. He told me the whole process. I saw the whole process of it. I've had work husbands. You know what I mean? Not just on screen, but people that you work with so regularly that they end up being your work husband. And they're not always gay. You know, some people say, oh yeah, because people do that all the time. And you make it okay because he's gay. It should be okay if he's straight if you're not fucking him. And if you're not thinking about fucking him. That's not even an issue. But that's not to say that I don't realize people do go to work and have work wife and work husband that they fuck. But I'll say it like I said in the comment. The adults in my life, when discussing work wife or work husband, there's literally nothing disrespectful to the other's relationship in reference to that. And in fact, the actual spouse will often ask about the work spouse, cause we grown. What kind of children? And what the hell kind of people are you guys getting into relationship with that you even have that to worry about? That you worry about the person that you chose to spend your life with going to work, the job that they gotta have to build your physical life together to help maintain. And you gotta worry about them going to handle business because they might be fucking a work spouse. And all in the comments, they was like, dudes just use that as an excuse to be able to cheat on their girl. Well, you know what? Maybe they do. But if you would choose a guy, if you would choose a man, I won't even say a gentleman. Because even a gentleman, it could be a man that's not even a gentleman yet. But he got control. Grown men have control over their loins. Y'all let your mamas, because they can't pick a man, your mamas and your sisters and stuff convince you that men have needs so extensive that they can't control their fidelity to you. Those are not men. And sometimes shit does happen. Sometimes people just fall into vaginas accidentally. You know, if it makes you feel better. So stuff does happen. And people get through it, work through it, whatever. But whatever makes you feel better. But choose good people in the first place. Opening yourself to juveniles is what makes you have to worry about. That's just the pettiest shit I ever heard of. Again, I know it happens all the time. I've been in a work environment where people were doing that actively. But it's never been a concern of mine because Anyway, so all I said basically was, well, I can't relate to that because the adults in my life, the term work wife or work husband is tossed around regularly, but like I said, they're adults and they have no intention or desire to disrespect their relationship, so it's not, I don't know, you talking about something, even though you're using the same words, you're talking about something completely different than what I understand it to be in my adult world, right? And so one of her stands showed up. It was inevitable. I was ready. One of her stands showed up and said, basically said, ain't nobody trying to read all that. Well, the thing about when I use common sense in someone else's environment is I always include, this is my perspective and often put at the end, but that's just me. That's just, every time, whenever you see shit like that, that's for whoever else will gonna show up and say, well, such and such, or you think you better than everybody else, or whatever. Because they gonna do that. Even if the person specifically said, what do you think? Even if the person that did the video, the first shit they said out of their mouth was, what do y'all think? You can put what you think, and you can say, this is what I think, and this is why I think it, because these are the types of people in my life, so that's all I'm accustomed to, is a respect and mutual love and flourishing relationships. And they can be like, girl, ain't nobody, they pretty much mean exactly what she said, word for word. Girl, ain't nobody trying to hear that. So it didn't take her no time to come to, cause you know why? Because it steps on toes. When people read stuff like that, they start feeling some kind of way because they man had a work wife that they left them for, or some dumb shit like that. Or they had a little boyfriend, okay, that they had to go through this, turmoil with because they made bitch made choices in the person that they accepted into their lives. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she showed up. And when she said, ain't nobody trying to hear all that, LOL. And I came back, not immediately. I wanted to let that simmer for a little while. I wanted to see if she was going to have any partners to show up, and come for me with her, have her back. And so I came back after that and I said, I'm pretty sure I already covered that in that big-ass novel I just wrote. But congratulations on calling out the fact that ain't nobody trying to hear that. I don't know. In that big-ass paragraph in there, I included that nobody's thinking like this these days. Nobody's, I'm fully aware that I'm of the unpopular opinion. I'm fully aware of that as I make this comment. But yeah, she wanted to let me know nobody was paying that any attention. I was like, Felicia, I know. I said that. Line 17, word number 4. I said ain't nobody trying to hear this, what I'm saying. Thanks for reiterating it. You misguided, bitch, you. Ooh, I can't stand y'all kids. She was adult age, but I'm still saying I can't stand y'all. I'm talking to her parents. I'm talking to her procreators. I can't stand y'all's kids. Okay? And here's the other one. Let me go celebrity on y'all. I'm going to go celebrity on y'all. Because I've been blocked by a couple of celebrities. So this particular one, she's a millennial, but she's adult age now. And in fact, you have coined her a civil rights activist. Popular person. So I won't say her name. I had started following her because I saw her check a white celebrity about their privilege, and it gave me life. It gave me oxygen. And so I was like, oh, let me see what this little old thing talking about, right? Because she been in it for a minute. She been caping strong for the struggle. Y'all know me. I just need to know a person is a good person before I even follow them on social media. Oh, incidentally, girl, my boo who's new to me, clearly new to me, that asked me to follow this privileged dude in a comment. I'm not going to be... Now, so for those of you who asked me to follow someone in particular, now you know why I don't. The character has to be tight for me to even... Like, how do y'all do that, though? How do y'all expect to go follow this person and you haven't even checked to see if they was a good person? Like, or you tell somebody to follow them just because they told somebody to follow you. Do you really know what kind of person they are? Because I'm the bitch. I go digging for your oldest videos to see what's good. What's good? Have you grown? Or are you still that motherfucker adjusting the shit you do for more views? I'm paying attention to it. So don't ask me. And another thing. No, I'm not gonna do that right now. So about the popular person that you were probably most commonly known as a celebrity. So she did this video. She does a lot of these videos, but I never even said anything because I just started following her, so I was watching her for a little while. So I was like, okay, this might be the time. What she did a video. Half of y'all know who she is because you follow her. Y'all be following them. But shit, I followed her for a couple of weeks. So there's that. So she was doing a video she was on a beach somewhere, or I don't know, the island or somewhere. You know, she big time now. And she got her start humble beginnings. She had humble beginnings, but you know, it don't take no time for that humility to go out the door if you get popular enough, especially in this day and age. You know, social media or television famous or movie famous, it don't matter. Bitches are who they are, and more of it when they get more notoriety. But I'm not shading her on that tip. She puts in work for the struggle. Credit where due. But so she did this video, which will also let you know how new her fame is. But she did this video, and she was saying, she said, I was just thinking about all my exes and how stupid y'all are. And then she did a handstand and she did a twerk in a handstand and flipped over into the pool. And of course, all the little girls loved it, you know, because you throwing shade at all your ex-boyfriends, because you blowing up now and everybody wants you. And that's the mentality of your daughters, including the one that's well known for fighting a revolutionary struggle. Now, on the surface, there's really nothing wrong with this video. And in fact, I thought it was cute. And I was like, oh, good for her. She done stopped making them decisions, right? But I knew it could go either two ways. Either she would recognize it as a complimentary thing that, yes, I have stopped making these decisions, and I'm so happy in the decisions that I'm making now, the relationship decisions. But in most cases, most of those females that are shading all their exes or whatever, they just neglect. I don't know how it is that the world became okay with tossing aside the fact that a woman, maybe women really are so discarded and so considered to be so inferior that we've accepted that as truth. And so especially in the feminist world, because if you're a real feminist to me, then you can look at a bitch's track history of fuckboys and be like, as a woman, and women are powerful, right? That's the whole idea of feminism. But the thing is, I'm like, for real. I guess I'm more of a feminist than they are, because I'm like, you had a choice. You could have not dated that fuckboy. You could have not dated all 17 of them fuckboys. You could have not dated a single one of them. You could have a history of nothing but dudes who loved your dirty drawers. You could have a history such that you were always the one to break up, because it wasn't going anywhere. And it wasn't going anywhere because you decided that this wasn't a good match for what you wanted in your life. But no, you got a laundry list of motherfuckers that you let into your life and between your legs, and in a lot of cases, duplicated his seed. Unsure whether you have actually cloned his energy or not. I want to say you dumb bitch, but she's not dumb by any means. Nor is she smart by any means, though. Just saying. So what I said was, like I always do, I was like, I can't relate to having a long history of guys like that in my past. I was like, but I'm really happy for you that you making different decisions for yourself. She couldn't let no time pass, okay? The celebrity. And she came back and said, the back of your hand must really be stinging. Now, depending on what she said, y'all know I was ready to respond. But I was like, you know what? She's on the escalation. She's on the elevator up. And I'm going to let her keep making the same decisions and be entertained by the train wreck. You know, when people lash out rather than hear what I'm saying in love, it's only a matter of time. So, yeah, she said, I bet the back of... I'm sure she thought I didn't know what she meant by that. But what she was saying was that what I said was a backhanded compliment. And let me tell you, it ain't just her. Any number of females, smart females out there, very, very smart females, who likely also have a track history of fuckboys on them, notched on their belt. A row of notches on their bedpost from fuckboy after fuckboy. Because nobody likes to think that. Nobody likes to hear that. I understand. Nobody wants to hear. Who wants to look in the mirror and realize that I have continuously chose people and spread my legs for dudes who aren't worthy of it? Who wants to acknowledge that? Nobody. But the bitches who do will definitely be the first ones to dig themselves up out of that shit. And never again, never again. Because people love to say never again, but you just keep on watching. Keep on watching. We gonna read about this bitch in her relationship turmoils. I promise you. I promise you. Because she's a warrior for the struggle. But for her damn self, she's one of these people. She got all the advice for everybody. I be trying to look at myself when I say shit like that. because I got all the advice for everybody. But let's see where I need to get my work in. But like I said, I can always admit if somebody's calling me out right for some shit. That wasn't a backhanded compliment, but after she said that shit, I was like, I ain't gonna give her a compliment or insult or nothing else. I'm finna watch this self-destruction go down. I just hope that before she destroy her own damn self, in these future relationships that she finna choose, the exact same way that she been choosing, except she gonna be worse with it because she famous now. So it's gonna be worse, girl. But I hope before she get into the one that's really gonna take her down, I hope she able to put in some more work on this struggle, because she really is, again, credit where due. She's stepping up and she's speaking out, and people ain't really doing that. They looking like they doing it, but they ain't really doing it. D.L. Hughley is doing it. That motherfucker. Your Angela Rye is doing it. Your Simone Sanders is doing it. Your Maxine Waters is doing it. She's like literally the only human being that I see actively taking steps to impeach. Like, for real. And I've been hip to Miss Maxine since 89. 89? Since 89, girl. 87? 88. I'm going to say 89. So, in all those examples I just gave, took way too long to give. That's how this white boy was easily able to win the presidency. And now we're all in danger. We're in dire danger. And we have been since he campaigned, really. And right now, he's doing what he's doing. I don't know what the talk is about, because surely the talk can't be about how we're going to get this guy to change his mind and be a nicer guy. Like, there are no options. I mean, y'all went as far as to put up with talk of assassination with Obama, but this guy, who's actually killing people you love, who's actually murdering people you love, because every time something happens in the name of racism, he's the leader of it right now. He's the ringleader, and there's really nothing to talk about. There's nothing to meet with him about. All these guys and these people and the people your favorite people, Ray Lewis, Steve Harvey, Oprah, Winfrey, and you guys won't say anything because these people are in a position to offer opportunity to you one day. I get it. Now, I get it. I have a sellout price. But it's not nearly as low as y'all's, man. So yeah, people are parenting their children, enabling shit to the point where they can go and tell people, I don't give a fuck about you or your feelings, and I will motherfuck anybody. And you act like you don't know the clear fucking difference between child abuse and discipline. Let me go ahead and say it. Let me go ahead and put it out there. You let now it's Dr.Oz, because he's doing the same damn thing on a different level, except it's not parenting, it's health now. He's perpetuating Farmco's murderous tactics, and it's working, because y'all live on every word Dr. Oz says. This fucking pharmaceutical industry is, I don't even want to say out to get you, because they don't have to be out to get you. They got you. Man, this Dr. Oz joker, man, my sister told me something. Let me go back and say what I was talking about. Okay, now we've always been able to go to the store and look at privileged children in the store running amok, right? Because they don't get spankings. You know, since slavery was abolished and we stopped raising them motherfuckers, now they don't get discipline. Well, we've always been able to say that. And as of the 80s, that ended. And let me tell you one of the huge turning points. There was a book by a person named Dr. Spock. Because I always thought it was a Star Trek dude with the ears. But there was a book written by Dr. Spock. And in this book, and they used Oprah to promote it on her show, like she has done for many other lying people who wrote books and said it was real, said it was facts, or that they could educate you on something based on this bullshit ass book. Okay, that's why she confused now. But anyway, and can't build a genuine relationship to save her life. But Dr. Spock wrote this book, and in this book, it was a parenting book. And in this book, he basically convinced everyone that spanking was child abuse, right? And so that shit worked. Like, I can't believe it worked on black women, but that shit worked. And so now, if you'll notice, whenever you see someone disciplining their child, I don't mean child abuse. There's a huge difference. Stop bitch acting like it's a thin line between the two. It's a huge border. There's a big difference. So when someone is disciplining their child, it automatically get links to child abuse. That was fine when Becky and them was doing it, but now you have Shaniqua and them remembering when they got their ass whooped when they was little. They forget the bad shit they was doing, okay? But they got their ass whooped when they was little, so they're looking and being like, oh, you're teaching the kids violence by spanking them. I have a sister who believes this, okay? Now, to be fair, there are some children that aren't going to need to be spanked at all ever in life. But for the most part, there's a 99.9% chance that at some point you're going to have, it will be productive, morally productive, for you to spank the child for being disrespectful and or disobedient. And the reality is, if you do it young enough, you're not even going to need to think twice about doing it once they get to the teenage age where they trying you. You won't even need to think about it at that age because you've already set the stage for them at a young age. This is how we're going to do. You're not going to be one of these. You're not going to do this. But all that's gone because Dr. Spock, promoted by media, had convinced everyone that that discipline, physical discipline, on any level is child abuse and is in fact teaching the child violence. Forget about all the kids that got their ass whooped for being violent, for fighting in school. That's teaching them violence. If any kid would have not needed a whooping at all in life, it would have been me. But I got a few whoopings. Literally, probably just a few. I only remember one. And that was the last one. And I decided after that whooping, I'm not going to get a whooping no more. It wasn't that I wasn't going to do anything wrong or whooping worthy. Because after all, I wasn't even a good teenager yet. But, yeah. I got a whooping. My ass whooped. I didn't get my ass whooped like some of my sisters got their ass whooped, but they were bad. They were bad. They're the parent. You're the child. And that's another thing. When adults talk, like kids don't have no lines. And you can pull your parents aside and have a discussion with them about something that you need to that an adult is doing. This is what is wrong. You know, let my parents handle it or whatever. But it ain't gonna be no situation where your kids are destroying my property in the neighborhood, and I come and tell you that your kids did it, and they'll be like, well, how do you know they did it? Really? Because when I was young, you gonna get a whooping because they thought you did it. They had to come bring their ass out from the house, stop cooking. They had to skip a day of work to come talk to me about it, or to come to the school because you was having a problem. Then you get a whooping just for that. You get a whooping because another adult had to take time out of their day to come and ask me about some shit you did. You get a whooping for that. But now it's like, how do you know my kid? I got good kids. They wouldn't do no such thing like that. Or what did you do? That's how we raising them. So now that kid, when they go out and do some more shit, they know, shit, my mama gonna cape for me no matter what it is. Right or wrong. And it gets so bad to where if you don't cape for them, then they cussing your ass out. Because you know why? You never whooped their ass. But you let them grow up in this world and not whoop their ass when they needed it so that they wouldn't have to get their ass whooped later. Believe me, you're going to wish you would have got a belt whooping than the ass whooping you're going to get from the grown-ass person that has to check you at some point in life. Chin check you. Sing it, Lenny. You just ought to forget about it, Lenny.
You know, maybe you've never been in love.
Like I've been in love.
And maybe you've never felt the things that I felt. But this is what I told my friend. I said that, you know, sometimes
you get lonely.
you get
Lonely.
You get
Lonely. Oh, 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 oh.
And I cry.
Oh, 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 oh.
And tears
In the wells of my eyes, baby.
And then it got so bad. It got so bad. So one time I thought I'd roll myself up.
In a big old ball and die.
And then I let you, darling. And you smiled at me. Wood, man.
This is it. Papa's got a brand new bag. I need to go and get some apple juice and grape juice real quick because I have 30 minutes before I have to start my juice. Peg 3350. Clear liquids mean that anything is clear consistency. Color is not as important as consistency. Drink juices such as apple, white grape, or white cranberry. I don't trust cranberry juice for kidneys. Like, females in my family have always had a lot of kidney issues. Excuse me. And, excuse me. And so, one of the things that was always a natural whatever was cranberry juice, which, incidentally, Jamaican sorrels taste similar to, but not quite as tart. Anyway, whenever I thought I might be having kidney issues, because I still didn't have the same level of issues that most of them had, but I got concerned. You know, I didn't want to have to, you got a couple of kidneys, but you know, whenever you hear about the most common transplants, they're most commonly kidneys. So I didn't want my kidneys to get fucked up, basically. And so I listened to I went for the okie doke because I was young, and so I was believing everything I heard. And it's still common understanding. Gotta be careful. It's not common knowledge because the stuff we know has been dictated to us by people who can and do easily have other motives, and even the people that they get to carry out their exercises don't even realize sometimes what they're really doing. But I would drink cranberry juice, or when if I would go dancing or go to a club, I would order cranberry juice. But the way my body actually responded, it responded negatively, but I didn't see any significant improvement based on cranberry juice alone. And in fact, if I drank cranberry juice and wasn't drinking water, it might be even worse. So I was like, oh, they lied and a half about this cranberry juice being good for your kidneys. I've been thinking that since I was a teenager, and that's a long time ago. I'm not here for that. Apple, white grape, and white cranberry. Avoid thick and pulpy juices. Bouillon or clear broth is fine. You can have gelatin without fruit. Avoid anything with red or orange artificial coloring. Soda, coffee, and tea are fine. Soda, coffee, and tea? Coffee and tea are fine? I'm not going to even try it with coffee because apparently this has clearly got to be coffee with no dairy. Begin drinking the chilled drink 1 glass every 15 to 20 minutes until you have drank half of the gallon. This takes 1 to 2 hours. So from 6 to 8. Ugh, this sounds like it's going to be horrible. I think I'm going to go get some apple juice and grape juice. That's my little alarm I set for when I got to start. I'm going to go run real quick and get some white grape and apple juice. And I know they told me to use Crystal Light to help me drink the stuff. So I got some Crystal Light lemonade. Oh, so I thought I could have almost any kind of apple juice. Anything that is clear in consistency. So no pulpy, nothing. I'm glad I read this again because I like the broth of the Campbell's chicken noodle soup. So I was going to strain that stuff, strain the meat and noodles out of the, it ain't real, I guess I wouldn't consider it meat, but I would the little diced chicken and the noodles I was going to strain out of it and just drink the broth. So I guess not. Avoid anything with red or orange or artificial coloring. Let me go get me some apple and white grape juice and some water real quick. Because I think I'm going to need more of that. Alright, I'll holler in a minute.
Some of the situations the ASPCA encounters are situations that you can't even believe exist. Animals just living in filth, cowering at the back of a cage. They're trapped, scared. They spend their days and their nights alone. Animals with broken limbs that have been just left. There's no medical care at all. They're tied up. They're just left outside like trash. How can anyone do that? It must be so heartbreaking to witness that, but it's even worse for the animals.
At the ASPCA, we're committed to searching every dark corner to find them, and to help heal the deep physical and emotional wounds that have been inflicted.
Ooh, they so sad. They so serious.
Your monthly gift is urgently needed, so please sign
please,
it now.
please.
It's only 63 cents a day.
Only
You'll help
$19 a
rescue
month.
animals who are suffering. The situation is urgent, and so we're asking you to join in the next 10 minutes.
They didn't tell you the $19 a month part.
joinASPCA.org, or call this number now. to
Boy,
join.
bye. They didn't tell you about the $19 a month part. They just told you about the 63 cents a day. Bitch, give a black person 63 cents a day. Give a black person, I almost said a black person that's been affected by racism, but that would be every black person. Why don't you pick a black person? Okay. And give them 63 cents a day. Yeah, I don't trust any of the white people that do sponsorships or spokespersons for ASPCA, Wounded Warrior, Bitch Shriners, Holder Cancer Centers. All the white people that do commercials for, they still crying?
And if you've ever thought about helping, this is...
Tell them, Will.
The animals who lead us can't wait any longer. It's only 63 cents a day. Please go online or call before it's too late.
You got a shiver. That's your little puppy shivering too. Get that puppy out that refrigerator. Got that puppy shivering like that. They never did care about us, and they still don't. And where is the surprise in that? Why are we shocked and amazed? Because we got so complacent in our belief? Because we could only hold hope in the idea that they would see us as human and respect us as human? Not even to like us. Not even to like us. Just respect us as human. I can't say allow us to live, because that's what humans do, is breathe and live. But allow us, just don't murder us. Don't murder us for breathing. And privileged people out there like, yeah, but why do you need to breathe? I'm not comfortable sharing the oxygen with black people. So, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not racist. But when the racist policing system murders you, I'm just going to be quiet because that's not my business. Okay. I'm so sorry. For those of us who had Becky besties when we were young, I sometimes think about them, and I wonder if now, like when we were young and they try to get you to do certain things and you were like, nah, I'm good, you go ahead. And even in those situations where you'd be like, girl, the police will string me up if they come through. And they'd be like, no, they won't. I wonder if those Becky besties that some of us had are now looking at the world and going, are they at least going, oh, that's why they wouldn't participate. Because the cops really would have killed them. Or are they just cozy in their belief that modern day racism is an exaggeration and it doesn't really exist? Or, we're overreacting. But I'm like, I wonder how many of them, if any, are like, yeah, I didn't get it when we were young, but now I see that there's a different level of precaution that you have to take as a black person. And if they do ever think that, do they ever say it aloud? And if they say it aloud, who do they say it to? Do they say it to a black person, apologetically? Or do they say it to a white person? A white person who likely has enforced said privilege and affected a black life in such a way. Because y'all keep telling us about how you're not racist. Tell your racist family about how you're not racist and how it's wrong. Tell them. You don't have to tell us what we already know. You don't have to tell us what we live and experience every day. But you might want to tell your people who are consistently putting us through it and supporting the putting of us through it. You might want to tell them. So next time you want to go proclaim about how bad racism is in agreement, do it with one of your people who are exercising said racism. I don't wanna. If only y'all knew what I was doing right now. Be right back.